Hey guys, welcome back to PoleArms. This is Doug. I just posted a video, an unboxing and a 300 round, give or take, review of my new competition gun, the Canik TP9SFL. Just posted it. It's a little bit long. It was a lot longer before I really whittled it down and edited it down. But it's running about 36 minutes or so, give or take. But I still wanted to try to break it up into two parts. Sometimes all that information, it's a little easier to digest in smaller doses. So I'm reshooting this introduction, and I am going to go ahead and repost the video in two parts. First part is going to be the unboxing, first looks, just kind of describing and talking about everything the box came with. And then the second part is going to be the 300 round review, and that's going to be after I took it to the range a couple times and after I shot it in one IDPA match. So yeah, it's going to be two parts. Right now you are watching so enjoy, and then after you're done with this one, go and find the other one floating around out there in the YouTuberverse. Also, the full version is out there as well. Check them all out. You know, you got the time, right? Okay, so it's been about a week and a half since I shot the first part of this video. In that time, I have had a chance to take this gun to the range twice, as well as shoot it in an IDPA match. And I can tell you, I love this gun. It is an incredibly smooth shooter. I mean, you're dealing with a 5-inch slide. I'm not sure the exact dimensions. I believe it's right at 5 inches. So that's a lot of steel to slide back on you with each pull of the trigger. But it is incredibly smooth. The recoil is practically non-existent. You're really able to stay on target with accurate shots well. I put about at the range. I wanted to put a variety of different grain 9mm rounds through it. First time at the range, I could not find 147 grain ammo, so I took some 115 and some 124 grain NATO. Didn't really know there was a difference between NATO rounds and other. Didn't find that out until later on when I shot it in the IDPA match. But that's really neither here nor there. That's all they had at the store, so that's what I got. So some Winchester white box 115 grain, some Winchester white box NATO 124 grain, and like I said, I couldn't find any 147 that first time out. For me, ended up shooting more accurately, tighter groupings with the 124 NATO. Managed to find some 147. Went back out to the range, just shot the 147, and it was also very nice. Pretty good groupings, but not as good for me, at least, as the 124. So I ended up shooting the 124 NATO at my IDPA match. I'm still not sure. I'll probably go back and forth and do a little more testing. I might end up using the 147. I really like the 147 grain in my Beretta 92G. That was my competition gun before this new Canik. I definitely think this is going to be my new competition gun. Very happy with it. But yeah, at the range, I probably put about 200 rounds, again, of a variety of grains, a variety of weights. 200 rounds, and then in the competition, the IDPA match, I probably put, give or take, about 80 rounds through. So we're looking at just shy, if not right at, 300 rounds. Zero failures whatsoever. Again, the gun shoots incredibly smoothly, very accurate. The magazines, and there's no ammo anywhere near this pistol, so everything is clear and safe. The magazines, I was super impressed with how smoothly these things loaded. I mean, they're like butter. You know, I put in first couple mags at the range. I only put 10 rounds in. That's division capacity for IDPA. So I was just kind of getting in the habit of loading up 10, shooting, and I would switch between 115, 124, and then ultimately that second time at the range over to the 147. But so started out loading 10, and it was effortless. Eventually I went up to loading full magazines, loading the full 18, and again, it got a little bit stiffer towards the end, but nothing too crazy at all. Just very impressed with the smoothness of these magazines. You know, and the trigger, I was also impressed with that. I know I mentioned before there was a lot of talk about how great this trigger is out of the box. I've had some IDPA guys say that it's the best polymer trigger out of the box that they've ever shot. I don't know about that. I don't know if I have as much experience as those guys, but I thought it was a pretty nice trigger. And so one of the best things about this trigger is it just has a phenomenal reset, which really allows you to stay on target and get more accurate follow-up shots quicker. It is phenomenal. Again, there's no ammunition anywhere around. Pull the trigger. And there is the reset. Click. I am barely moving that finger forward, and it's resetting. It is a very quick reset. I really like that a lot. Now I will say, at my IDPA match, I ran into some issues with that trigger. Mainly, it was because of that trigger safety. I found out at the range I didn't have any problems whatsoever. I was getting the pad of my finger on that finger safety every time, firing the pistol every time. At the match, I don't know if it was just the heat of the moment. It was also a flashlight match, lights out flashlight match, which meant a lot of one-handed shooting. I don't know if it was a combination of those things or what. I think that's pretty much what it was. That my adrenaline was up, and it was just kind of the heat of competition. But I found myself riding my finger too high on that trigger and not engaging that trigger safety, which wouldn't fire the pistol. And everything in IDPA is timed, and you know, I would pull the trigger, nothing would happen. You know, I got kind of flustered, wasn't really thinking that it was the trigger, thought maybe it was a jam or something. So I started working, you know, working the pistol the way you would if you're trying to clear a jam. And didn't really realize until after the fact that it was just, I was riding that trigger too high, and I was not engaging the trigger safety. So that's not an issue with the trigger. That's not the trigger's fault. That's my fault. That's user error, and that's just inexperience with this platform. But I will gain experience the more I shoot this thing, and now I've learned from my mistake. I know that I need to really kind of let my finger ride along the bottom of that, the bottom of that trigger guard. Just let it skim across that trigger guard so that I go right into that trigger safety. So I'll practice that. But so it's really not the trigger's fault again. It's mine. But I did run into that problem at my match. Again, zero failures at the range or during the match. The thing shot phenomenally. Again, very smooth. I am very happy with it. I did take the holster that we discussed with me. Had it oriented 90 degrees, just straight up and down. Wore it at 3 o'clock on my hip. So I was able to draw it very smoothly and very easily with this zero cant, straight up and down. But this thing, again, it's free. It came with the kit. You can take it or leave it. But for my needs, for competition, it worked out great. It worked the way it was supposed to work. It's just passive retention. I'm not running marathons with the thing. It holds it in place. In IDPA competitions, it's only in the holster at the start of each stage, at the start of each scenario. You draw from your holster, you go to work. When you're finished, you reholster. That's it. So you're not doing any running around, sprinting from area to area, from cover to cover, or whatever, with the gun holstered anyway. But that being said, it's the level of retention is just fine. It's not coming out of that thing, especially when it's just in the holster, really in between stages. So I did use this holster, and I thought it was fantastic. It's free. It came with the kit, and I don't see any reason to spend my hard-earned money on another holster, tracking down another holster. This thing worked out great, met my needs just fine. The main point I want to drive home is that this new gun, my new competition gun, the Canik TP9SFL, is phenomenal. I give it 2 thumbs up. Again, a very smooth shooter, very accurate shooter. I am pleased with it, and I'm going to keep training with it and keep using it in competitions, and hopefully continue to get better and better with this gun. So check it out, guys. I highly recommend it, especially for competition shooting. If you guys like this video, if you got something out of this video, please like me below. Check out my channel, PoleArms. Subscribe, please, because I would like to continue providing you guys with different videos, different product reviews, gun reviews, gear, how-to videos, etc., etc. So keep coming back, and I'll keep putting out those videos, guys. So like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.